What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the NBA Slate Starter podcast. I'm Eric, joined with my buddy Ryan as we break down Tuesday's. Wait for this. Two. We're talking about two. Only two. If you can name that movie, you'd be a friend of mine. But Ryan, can you name that movie?
I cannot, no.
Two? Only two? Let's just say 20 Wonka bars. I think that probably gave it away.
Yeah, that gives it away. Shout out to Willy Wonka.
Well, good job. You got it. Completely on your own there. We have two games to look at here for this Tuesday. It's going to be yesterday was, I thought, going to be the shortest slate starter we've ever had. We kind of got back. We got in a rhythm. We got going. There was also sweats for football. We had things to do. But we got a real sweat here for Ryan over in Football Street. Showdown season, baby. It's showdown season. The master of the showdown, Rayen Patnaik himself over there. Just looking pretty good around the board here. Ryan, how's your night going?
It can be a great night. It could also be another night if nothing pans out. But I ended up taking the NBA night off today. There's a lot of money pumped into the Super Wildcard Monday contest. So I spent some time focusing on those. And I just I played the NBA early. It didn't go as hot. I wasn't that excited to play Io DeSumo at that ownership. And DeSumo goes out and puts on 7 stocks, I believe. So I got burned there, and then I decided to move on to tomorrow's a dandy of a 2-game slate.
Ayo. Yeah, no, I didn't have enough of that guy either. I ended up cashing. I did like one big lineup for each slate throughout the day on DK, and I cashed both of them in the early in the afternoon. There's a 0.0% chance I'm going to cash on DK without Middleton and Booker here at the moment, but I did have Nurk Daddy all over the board on FanDuel. Don't think I have any sweats because, again, you needed Middleton and Booker in pretty much any spot if you were going to get nuts and go nuts, because that's what happens when people put up 55 and are popular, and then 70 burger for Devin Booker. He is so good. But guys, 2-game slate. We're going to fly through this one for you. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Leave us a 5-star review. We will have bigger, better slates ahead of us. But this 2-gamer is kind of fascinating because you do have a 2.5 hour gap. We got word that Steph Curry on the top end here from Golden State is going to be fine, that he's not on the injury report with his hand deal. So we are looking at Kemba Walker watch. That's going to be in the first game. And then Gary Payton watch. So if people aren't paying attention, there are opportunities to perhaps make some serious money by late swapping. So I will still say that. Ryan, ready to get going, my really nice friend?
Let's ride.
Oh, no, I was kind of going for that. How are we standing?
I mean, it's a showdown. It's always moving. So I've already fallen. But, things can always go back to first. If not, they keep dropping, or maybe another one creeps up to the top. It's just the name of the game.
Alex Baker, I believe, was winning the Millie a second ago. I don't know if he is still winning it here at the moment. We're going to be on watch here for it. Yeah, it's somebody else now because, of course, it is. That's showdown for you, baby. That's show business. Top end of guard here, though, over on DK for tomorrow, Tuesday, January 18th. Steph Curry, 10,600. As I said, he's off the injury report. He's going against Detroit. I think amongst the studs, you've got Steph Curry, Karl Anthony Towns, Julius Randle. I bet Towns ends up the highest owned out of the grouping because the center position, I mean, it's just like any one of these slates, period. But the center position, he just blows it all away. Whereas I think there are some interesting pivots off of guard. Steph Curry, obviously, health, Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole there, but no doubt the ceiling's going to exist. Then you got, going down the line, Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell. That's always a fun 2v2. It's kind of the story of 2v2s. So let me ask you this first, because it's just, we're going to do position by position like we always do, but I think that this is probably the best way to give you guys some informative stuff. Not considering ownership, Steph Curry or Karl Anthony Towns for you on this slate?
Steph Curry taking on a Detroit team, or Karl Anthony Towns taking on a Knicks team. I will go to Steph Curry tomorrow on DK. That's how I'll go to Steph Curry.
Anthony Edwards or D'Angelo Russell at the guard position. Pick one.
Anthony Edwards or D'Angelo Russell at the guard position.
Again, we don't have ownership, so this is all just what's the flavor for you? What do you want? Do you want chocolate? Do you want strawberry? Both are delicious.
That's an interesting decision there. Let me think. I will go to Anthony Edwards.
Okay. I think that I'm probably going to too, and I'm kind of making an assumption about what ownership is going to look like. But D'Angelo Russell, 8,200. He only played 22 minutes. They blew out Golden State. I mean, just blew them out. Minnesota, one of the more bipolar basketball teams that exist. They're going into the Garden tomorrow, and D'Angelo, he should have some fun. This might be Anthony Edwards. Like, really, I'm going to be invested in this dude a lot. 8,600. I don't know what all the value is going to look like, but out of ceilings that can be comparable to Steph Curry ceilings and whatever else that can be comparable to any other stud on this slate, I feel like Anthony Edwards is the guy that I'd rather kind of go to between the two, but it's going to come down to ownership and a lot of other factors, but just kind of lay out the guard position for us.
Yeah, looking at the guard position up top, obviously Steph is there. Price that 10-6 3-point bonus for him goes for him. He's going to play. I think there's going to be no minutes limit. It's a cake watch against Detroit, so no issues going there. On the other side of the game, Cade Cunningham, 7,500. He sticks out to me as well. I don't expect him to get tossed for pointing this time around, but you never know. Now, it's a 2-game slate. Anyone who gets a rotational run is pretty much in play. I think Klay Thompson's a little too expensive at 5,500, so I'm going to be shying away from him. I'd rather go to a 5,500 Pat Beverly. I just think Beverly is just going to get 10 more minutes than him, priced identically to him. I think Beverly is a pretty solid value. And the other side of things in Detroit, it's tough to either go to Saban Lee or Killian Hayes, but it's a 2-game slate. One of those guys are definitely in play just because their 2-game slate opens up things to jam in a Curry or a Towns or an Anthony Edwards if you want to spend down there. That's honestly about it. I think if there's no Kemba Walker, you can take your chances on Alec Burks and Emmanuel Quickly for some upside in a Minnesota matchup, but it's a 2-game slate. Almost anyone you can make a case for who gets rotational run to be in play, and I wouldn't really fault you on the guard position right now.
Yeah, there's 48,000 point guards available from Detroit that are probably going to play in some capacity, especially if Frank Jackson goes. I mean, of course, Cade Cunningham on the top end there, but let me just count the ways. Corey Joseph, Derek Walton Jr. is a person who exists, but I guess he didn't re-sign, so we don't have to think about that. That was 2 weeks ago. Killian Hayes is back. Saban Lee is there as well. Frank Jackson, that's going to be some news that actually weirdly matters. There's going to be blowout run more than likely in some of these spots with Golden State. I mean, the line isn't out. We have the New York. They're 1.5 point dogs to Minnesota at home, which is kind of fascinating. I guess New York on a back-to-back here. And then looking at this Golden State game, obviously there is blowout potential, not something I'm going to factor in too much, especially on a 2-game slate. But I think that kind of opens up some avenues to some of these guards from the Detroit side being viable. Emmanuel quickly ended up outperforming one Alec Burks today. He played very well, but it did get out of hand. It was only a 10-point game to finish, but don't let that fool you. Miles Bridges put up 1 million fantasy points and just single-handedly embarrassed the Knicks. So Emmanuel quickly, even at 4K, if he's going to garner a lot of attention, I'll probably make my pivot elsewhere, but I'll say there's an outside chance of him starting, in which case there's no way I'd fade him.
Yeah, and at that price tag, it's exciting to take advantage of him with Emmanuel quickly at that price tag. But I do prefer being above the field on a guy like Alec Burks. I know he burned everyone tonight. I think you go right back to him.
I'm right there with you. I hate the man because I never gotten him right. Totally played him today with a lot of the Charlotte pieces that I liked. Well, he didn't help. So we'll just put it that way. Could have been really, really fun if he was remotely competent. Shout out to you, Evan Fournier, as well. Don't like your face either, but we'll talk about him later. Over at the guard position over on FanDuel, Steph Curry, 10-6, D'Angelo Russell, 7,600. That is just kind of too cheap there. 8,100 for Anthony Edwards. Going to be soft pricing. You're going to have a lot more of a quote-unquote pick-em when it comes to FanDuel, considering you're rostering 9. The most expensive guy at small forward is 8,100. That's Anthony Edwards. Most expensive guy at power forward, 8,400. Julius Randle. Most expensive center, 9,600. So Steph Curry, you're only 10K plus guy to pay up for here at the guard spot. I think that makes him a lot more intriguing over there where raw points really are going to matter. Salary-based expectations, not as much of a consideration for me. But of course, D'Angelo Russell, Patrick Beverly, Alec Burks, and Cade Cunningham, 6K. That's going to be crazy popular. What stands out to you on guard at FanDuel?
Yeah, guard at FanDuel, I mean, I just think it's Cade Cunningham at 6K. People are going to be well above the field on a guy like him. I think you should be too. Makes a lot of sense there. He's cheaper than Pat Bev. So it's shows how cheap he is over there. I know I think he's just going to get all the minutes in a Golden State matchup. So I'm about going to Cade Cunningham for sure. Other guards, D'Angelo Russell, 7,600. No issues going to him. I think it's a pretty solid price tag for himself. And Alec Burks as well. I like going there. If you're building one lineup, I wouldn't fault you if you want to fade Steph Curry. I know he's one of the superstars on the slate, but it's okay. I think you can go for a balanced build, but I think another guy you can take your chances on is Hamidou Diallo, 5,600. The minutes are there. No issues going to him. And we've seen Evan Fournier have super upsides from the outside randomly. So no issues going there. I do think you can shy away from Klay Thompson. I just don't know. In 24 minutes in a Detroit matchup, can he drop the 60 burger in like 6 dribbles? Sure, against Detroit, but I just don't think I just think there are better plays priced around him that just project better. And I do think there will be the Klay fans who roster him that will at least push some ownership to Klay.
Yeah, I would say that because of Klay Thompson, 6K on FanDuel. I mean, this is probably the first time I've even remotely considered rostering him, and I still probably won't because, as you said, there's going to be 25% of the field that wants to roster Klay Thompson. That's just kind of how this is going to work. It's been like 8 or 9% on some of these main slates, and everybody I think expected those minutes to jump up to 24 to 26 pretty quickly, and they are just taking their time with him. He doesn't add counting stats. He's going to have a game where he knocks down 9 threes. I'm just hoping it's not tomorrow, because that would be a disaster. That would be an absolute disaster for me. Evan Fournier, 5,200 there, small forward and shooting guard. I think that's viable. And of course, obviously be watching that. Kemba Walker news, just make sure that he's out. I think with knee soreness, he's going to continue to be out. But otherwise, 4,900, he would become probably my favorite guard play on the slate if he were to be ruled in at that number. Yes, that's kind of it. Again, it's 2-game slate. Let's keep it rolling. Steph Curry, $39. D'Angelo Russell, $29. Cade Cunningham, 26. This is our sponsor, Yahoo, of course. Patrick Beverley, 19. Again, you don't have that many options here. A sub $40 Steph Curry on a 2-game slate, hard not to like that. Sub $30 D'Angelo and Cade Cunningham, hard not to like either of those as well. Is there something kind of contrarian down here below those 3 guys that I just listed off, or even like below Patrick Beverley, that really interests you on Yahoo for tomorrow?
Yeah, I think firing off a $10 Emmanuel Quickly makes a lot of sense over here to jam in some expensive guys across the board. Other guys who are $10 are Killian Hayes and Saban Lee. The Detroit guards are going to be kind of a roulette wheel. You get that Detroit guard right, I think you're going to win a lot of money tomorrow. So that's the key to the value slate over there. But other guys who will be virtually unknown that have upside in a 2-game slate, and Malik Beasley off the bench can fire his way into relevance, but obviously he is well behind the depth chart now, just the way Minnesota has been playing. Outside of that, really no interest in anyone else. It's Cade Cunningham at that price tag, and Steph Curry sub 40 is very, very appealing.
Shout out to the Lakers. That game just started. They're only down 2 after losing by 37. I feel like that's improvement. They're down 2 9 minutes into that game. So slow clap. Stanley Johnson up to 6 fantasy points on FanDuel. That is not ideal, I would say, for me. That's probably the right way of putting it.
He's playing on his last 10-day over there, so he's playing for his NBA life.
Life's been too good here to start the year on FanDuel. I might need to slow my roll down a little bit. This is kind of the trend for me, is you have a big score and it's like, no, I think we pump the brakes. But you know where we don't pump the brakes? Yahoo, the sponsor of the NBA Slate Starter. Get 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum when you deposit $10 or more and you play in any paid contest over there. They have the best contests in the industry. I say that all the time, but it's true. Lowest management fees. That means the lowest rake. That means you're not paying as much to play in the contests, whereas DraftKings and FanDuel are charging you 15, 16, close to 17% in some spots. 16.5% generally is like the going number for some of these more popular, low dollar contests. And I'm telling you, that is not okay. Go to Yahoo. Go play there. Go check out their contests. They have fantastic sizing, 20K, 100K, 100K prize or to top prize in a number of these contests, especially in NFL. I'm sure their playoff stuff is just going to be off the chain. They've had sub 12% rate for every single one of those. That's why you need to be playing on Yahoo. Oh, and you also get 1 free month of that Awesemo Plus Platinum. So all things considered, the best place you can go for the money. best place you can go for your own money in order to build that bankroll, to sustain that bankroll. Thank you so much to Yahoo for being the sponsor here of the NBA Slate Starter. But my God, just go play there for your own sake. There you are. What's happening in the world? We watching? We sweating? We sweating?
No, apparently the Rams are not playing well.
What?
Yeah, they're committing a ton of penalties, and they're in the opposite side of the field.
The Rams are? What?
Yeah, they're going to give the ball right back to the Cardinals.
Oh, son of a biscuit. Well, we don't need that. Cardinals kicked a field goal because that's what you need to do when you're down 23. I don't know. I don't know any of the situation. I stopped watching. Was that the worst first half by a quarterback in NFL history?
No.
Okay, it probably wasn't. But it was like Nathan.
I mean, have you heard of Nathan Peterman?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was Nathan Peterman-esque.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
I do think they caught a bad break with the call with AJ Green. I think it was a pretty bad break. First, it was helmet to helmet on the hit. And then I did think it was like, hey, what else is AJ Green going to do after he stands still and catches the ball, right?
Yeah, so. He didn't make a football move. He took like another step. It was like a third step. But you know what else? They were down 21 when that play happened.
No, they weren't.
Right, they were 14-0. 14-0, that's right. And then the next play was the just immaculate catch. By the way, the shortest pick six in NFL postseason history. Fun fact for everybody, in case you missed that one. I don't know if they showed that on the telecast.
Shout out to Michigan, David Long with the pick.
David Long Jr.
Yeah.
Got to show respect to his father there. Let's head to the forward position over on DK. Julius Randle, 9,200, 8,600 for Anthony Edwards. RJ Barrett, who I will say has been playing pretty darn well. He was the only saving grace of that entire disaster there. Had 12 rebounds. The guy averages 5.6 per game. So I'm not exactly looking at that as a sustainable thing going forward. But I mean, the guy's been the real bright spot for this Knicks team this season. Sadiq Bey, 6,800. Andrew Wiggins, 67. Then you're just going to have to take shots on a lot of these guys. I don't really have a quote-unquote favorite, considering Julius Randle's expensive. Anthony Edwards, obviously 8,600, but that's expensive. Seems like you're going to really, really have to take some shots on these mid 5, 6K guys. Give me a few of your favorites.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely sprinkle across the board. I mean, on a 2-game slate, it really, you need to get the guys who just break the slate. You have one guy who breaks the slate, and you can really carry yourself to the top, and that's all you kind of need on a slate of this size. But guys, I'm all about Anthony Edwards. I know it's elevated price tag. I don't mind it whatsoever. It makes a lot of sense to go to Anthony Edwards, even at that elevated price tag. Julius Randle, 9,200 against the Timberwolves. I'm fine with it. It's another stud that you can sprinkle in. It's going to come down to ownership. He's going to be low on. I have no issues going above the field on. The guy I think you can shy away a little bit from is Jonathan Kuminga now. He was fun when he was the flat 3K, but I have no issues paying up for an Andrew Wiggins 6,700. I prefer Wiggins to Diallo. But outside of that, I think Alec Burks also a fine option to go to at 6,500. And I do think Otto Porter Jr. is going to be very low owned. So I think taking some chances and being above the field on him can definitely pan out for you.
I would agree with that as well. Otto Porter is a guy that I think I'm going to be very sensitive. So Golden State, obviously Draymond's still out. Steph Curry is coming back, and I have no questions that he'll be probably uninhibited there. But as far as the wings go, I mean, it's Wiggins, it's Porter, and then they just have, Kuminga's been good in some of these garbage time spots. Ended up playing 33 minutes because they got blown out against Minnesota. Played 26 minutes because they were murdering Chicago in that one. They played 19 minutes because they were getting murdered by Milwaukee. Like, it's just been a lot of really wonky minutes there for a guy like Kuminga. Yeah, this is another wonky one, and I think Kuminga's probably going to garner some attention, but Otto Porter's been really, really good, even in that blowout loss to Minnesota, even in that game where they absolutely blew the doors off Chicago. What a revenge spot that was for him. Forgot to take into account the revenge narrative for Otto Porter. He was just never healthy in Chicago career. Otherwise, he would have been awesome there too. But I do like that guy. Sub 6K, I think he makes a lot of sense, specifically for that DK slate. Probably all price considered my favorite tournament play at forward. We'll see where Kuminga comes in. I'm guessing because he's 4,300 and people love box scores more than what Ryan thinks. More than what Ryan thinks. People have been reacting to box scores a lot. But I would probably be sensitive to which Golden State guys I got to. In the event that I tried to pull the trigger, he's only power forward eligible. Maybe that'll help keep his ownership in check. But just a guy that's shown in limited time, 19, 20 minutes here. I mean, he's put up over 23 fantasy points in 4 straight games. That would be very, very viable at 4,300. So I'll throw his hat into the ring, but everybody's hat is kind of in the ring. This is a 2-game slate. I don't think I've said Kuminga's name one time in my life until this moment, just now. So that's cool. Anthony Edwards, 8,100 over on FanDuel, 8,400 for Julius Randle, your most expensive forward, period. There's a huge gap then. Jumps down to 6,900 there for Otto Porter at power forward. And then at small forward, you have RJ Barrett sandwiched between Edwards and Porter at 7,200. Again, I think that he's somebody that I want to be taking shots on. I just don't know if I can. Kuminga's 5,100. No, thank you over there. I'm sickly probably more intrigued by the likes of Diallo and Kuminga and whomever else there. Cam Reddish, still not playing here. He's going to be out for, quote, a while from Tom Thibodeau. Thanks for all your great information, pal. But who kind of stands out to you here? And don't you dare say Juan Toscano Anderson.
God, no, I'm not playing Wanty. I think it's the mid-tier on FanDuel. It's the guys like Wiggins, Diallo, Sadiq, Bey. They definitely stick out to me. I like going, spending down a little bit, or not spending down a little bit, but just taking your chances on the mid-tier guys in that game. No issues going to one of them. I like Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle also quite a bit. I do think a balanced build on tomorrow's slate can definitely pan out for you. And it's not too difficult to get both of those guys in whatsoever. So the Detroit front court situation might change up. I know Kelly Olynyk is close to returning. If he returns, it's just going to change up the Lyles, Isaiah Stewart fiasco. It's going to be another guy that we have to deal with in the rotation now. RJ Barrett's going to be low on 7,200. He's been playing much better basketball, but I think I'd rather save 2,000 and take a chance on Evan Fournier at potentially a lot less ownership as well and spend up elsewhere. Otto Porter is expensive at $6,900 here, but seals and block upside. He's shown it. Getting the minutes, you can definitely take your chances on Otto Porter, but I'd rather save and go to guys like I said, Wiggins, Diallo, and Bey.
What just happened for NFL here? Something just drastic. So nope, nothing. 34-11. So Gay got another field goal. I hate Showdown. We were just smashing, and now we're not smashing because of a kicker. Saying that sentence just made me hurt. God, and I play a lot of kickers. I just don't have one in this one good lineup. Oh, that was a gut punch. Here we go forward on our sponsor, Yahoo. Once again, 2-game slate. We'll be just fine. Julius Randle, $35. Anthony Edwards, $32. RJ Barrett, $25. Andrew Wiggins, $23. We're looking at some expensive options, but nothing that's not too attainable. Just looking at Julius Randle, of course, that ceiling's there, but I'm looking down if I'm trying to get different Alec Burks, $21. He just burned the entire universe. That's going to be intriguing. A guy like Iggy is $10. He's at the flat min. I think that garners some attention down there. I think that's probably the only $10 forward that I would have any interest in whatsoever, and that's just kind of where we're at. Talk to me about our sponsor, Yahoo.
Yeah, Yahoo. Tomorrow's a 2-game slate, and especially on a site like Yahoo, you're going to just force to leave a lot more money than you usually are comfortable doing. So, and that's completely fine. But that just alone is going to make me want to spend up for guys like Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle. RJ Barrett and Hamidou Diallo are fine. I like Alec Burks a lot at $21. If you're looking for a spend on option. Otto Porter at 17 is fine. No real reason to spend down all the way at 10 unless if you find an absolute reason to jam in some studs. But 2-game slate, you can get a little cute here on a 2-game slate, just because there are ways where you can leave like $10 on the table and be like, okay, I'm gonna see RJ Barrett outscore Julius Randle. All right, and it could definitely happen. So things like little things like that can definitely jump the field, and I think on a 2-game slate, those decisions are completely fine doing.
That's why you're the best short slate NBA player on planet Earth. Yes, I believe that. Yes, it's true. You've proven it. There are receipts. Go find them, everybody. To the center position we go on the top end of DK. I had talked about it. You prefer Steph Curry as far as studs. I think I prefer Karl Anthony Towns simply because if you don't play Karl Anthony Towns, Your next center on DK is $5,700 power forward / center Jared Vanderbilt from his own team. You have Mitchell Robinson, who I cannot tell you the number of ways that he sucked today. I watched that whole Knicks Charlotte game, and what a mistake that was. I could have done a lot of other things with my day. I could have gone golfing. I could have hung out with, family and friends on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I could have done something. And shows I spent it on a couch watching Mitchell Robinson just get murdered. And he's just so bad. Nerlens Noel, weird to say that they miss him, but the Knicks miss him defensively for sure. Lowest usage guy on planet Earth too, so doesn't need the ball in his hand to be happy. Kevon Looney, 4,900 there. Trey Lyles, I guess, power forward center, eligible 5,100, just above him there. Isaiah Stewart there, 4,600. Keep trying to find some upside with this guy, but Trey Lyles has been decent enough where it just seems like they're just splitting those minutes, and that is so hard to really pinpoint when you're going to get that Isaiah Stewart game, but maybe it's tomorrow at decreased ownership. For me, it's just Karl Anthony Towns. I'm going to probably have 100% on DK, and I don't see a path where that changes between now and lock tomorrow. Talk to me about center, Ryan.
Yeah, I have no issues making that type of stand. I mean, he should definitely eat against his potential future team. So I definitely can't.
Don't you dare.
God. It's going to be Cam Reddish, RJ Barrett, Zion, and Cat coming down in that garden sooner or later. But
one of those is not like the other. I mean, Kentucky. Go ahead, keep going.
But Kat said he wants to play for the Knicks. You already know. But
I'm aware, Ryan.
If you, for some reason, Kat doesn't play tomorrow, the center slate's really ugly. But outside of that, we gotta prioritize Kat in the center slate. If you want to spend down a little bit, you're gonna have to mix and match with guys like Vanderbilt, Stewart, and Lyles. And it's gross. Honestly, I still don't want to roster a $4,900 Kevon Looney. No chance. I still don't want to do that. I do think Nerlens Noel is questionable for tomorrow, so he might return.
Ooh,
so
that would be fun.
That might be interesting to see what ends up happening.
He's played one game, and it was on the 12th. He played 21 minutes and then got hurt again with that knee. Otherwise, he's only played one game since the 21st of December. That is almost a month. So I'm worried.
And they kind of miss him.
They do. No, they majorly miss him again. And I haven't watched a ton of Knicks basketball this season outside of any kind of ESPN primetime, whatever else. I was on League Pass pretty much all day today. It was on NBA TV. This game actually was, so that's ironic. But the MSG, like them talking, like the commentators they have there in New York, they just were brutalizing Mitchell Robinson, rightfully so, by the way.
Yeah, it's just they miss him, and Nerlens Noel is a pretty solid defender when it comes to situations like that. So that's really about it on the center spot. I can't fault you if you want to roster anyone that's a center tomorrow outside of Karl Anthony Towns. No real reason to have a 2-center lineup on DK. There's no reason to do that.
Of course, it was Malik Monk off the bench. Everybody knew it was Malik Monk off the bench in Showdown. I hate basketball today. It was good, and now it's bad. It's very, very bad to round it out, and Showdown because NFL hates me too. Karl Anthony Towns, 9,600. Julius Randle, 8,400. Mitchell Robinson, 5,400. I'm just going to play Cat. I'm just going to have a lot of Cat. Nerlens Noel, I guess 4,300 would be your pivot, but when I say that I think Karl Anthony Towns could be 80% plus owned tomorrow, I legitimately mean it. And I still think you'd be having people pay 20% of the rake, but whatever. Talk to me about center on FanDuel.
Yeah, it's Cat yet again. I mean, you just get the raw points with Cat, and potentially you can outscore the rest of the center only guys by a lot. But we have Julius Randle who has center eligibility as well. So I can change things up for you if you. There are ways to get in both, obviously, on FanDuel, but you can definitely save a little bit. Cat's priced pretty favorably. And if there's no Noel, I have no issues going to Mitchell Robinson on both sides. Robinson on FanDuel really pans out, block upside for him. So outside of that, it's gross. It's so gross.
It is beyond gross. To Yahoo, where it's probably the grossest. $41 Karl Anthony Towns, $20 Mitchell Robinson, your next guy. Trey Lyles, 17. Isaiah Stewart, 16. I mean, really what you would be doing here if you didn't play Cat at center is you just hope Cat puts up like 35, which, is in the realm if you get D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Edwards going nuts. But you almost can't use up all the salaries. So if I go Steph Curry, most expensive guy there, D'Angelo Russell, most expensive guy there, Cade Cunningham, you still have like $21 per player you put in Cat. Like you just can't spend enough money really to make it viable for me to get away from Cat. So I just don't know what else to say. Yahoo, play Cat. Talk to me about center over there.
It's the Cat show yet again, but if you don't want to play Cat for some reason, I guess I would be willing to go to Mitchell Robinson. It's that gross. I don't know what's going to happen with Isaiah Stewart. I have no interest in Kevon Looney. If you don't like Stewart, I think you can go to Trey Lyles, but that's it. It's gross. And like,
what a fun slate.
It's a 2-game slate. Like you got to take some chances, some uncomfortable choices. There are going to be players that you don't like, but a lot of people are going to be doing those decisions as well. So definitely shoot your shot with some guys.
This is not a day where you're going to find 1 or 2 points of leverage and then feel good about your life like you could on a main slate. Let me just throw that out there ahead of time. 2-gamer, you're going to have to play a guy that doesn't make sense or that just looks ridiculous, or you're going to be splitting with 15 people. And, that's fine. There are paths where that's an okay thing to do. I've come around to that where you don't have to be completely out of your mind stupid, but like just prepare yourself. Even like playing somebody where you make salary-based concessions and play like a Saban Lee just because he's the only guy to zero out that lineup. Something like that is something you should be doing. But Ryan, any final words for the people, considering you are the absolute short slate expert?
I wouldn't say I'm the best at it. I do think Eddie Lai and Tom Kennedy are the kings of the short slate.
Tom Kennedy was ridiculous in 2019. I feel like every night slate he just won it.
Yeah,
like for a whole year.
Yeah, obviously, guys who don't know Tom Kennedy, he's the CEO of Awesemo.com. And Eddie Lai is the chief technical officer. They're night slate machines. It's nice to get mentioned in that conversation, but I cannot say that I'm on their level on the short slate. But that's why we have the best short slate ownership projections out there as well. And we're the only place that offers them as well. So tomorrow's ownership projections are going to be amazing, and use those to your advantage. And pivoting off little things like that will definitely take you to the top.
And no amount of negative leverage could stop me from Karl Anthony Towns auditioning for Thibodeau and the New York media tomorrow. If you want to give us 3 future firsts and RJ Barrett, I'd probably consider it. I'd start the conversation for it. Yeah. I'll bottom out and go 15 and I don't know, whatever that is, 67 losses.
You guys are in the play-in game right now?
We would not be in the playing game. The West is really, really bad, but I think we're outside. I think we're 9 seed right now.
Yeah,
these are things I can check up.
Right?
Yeah.
You would be in the playing game.
Let me find it quick.
You guys are the 8 seed.
Oh, we are the 8 seed right now.
Yeah.
That is shocking. Again, bipolar basketball team. We can play with anybody on any given night. We can lose to anybody on any given night. There's no consistency. There's no makeup. There's no real true. Like Anthony Edwards is the best player on the floor from now until the day he retires. Like that's just the way that Anthony Edwards feels about himself. D'Angelo Russell needs the ball in his hand, and Karl Anthony Towns also needs the ball in his hand. So we have some issues to kind of work out as a Minnesota basketball team, but it's still fascinating watching everybody on this floor together. Patrick Beverley, I always liked that signing. Always liked it. It's nice to actually cheer for him for the first time in my career.
Interesting.
My life. I liked it with the Clippers too. Again, you hate this guy if he does not play for your basketball team.
Yeah.
And I live out here in LA where I can't afford Lakers tickets. But anyway, that was back in the day. Maybe now I can. 2022. Let's go. Ryan, any final words for the people to really round this out now?
Yeah, leave your 5-star reviews. That'd be amazing. Thanks so much yet again for another edition of the Slate Starter.
He's Ryan. He is one of the best short slate players in the world. I'm Eric. I am one of the best short rib eaters in the world. We'll see you guys later.